side control. I want you guys to walk all the way through it. Okay, so when I'm starting out here, just one little thing I'm noticing I'm talking to a couple different groups about. As I sit through and I get underneath his arm, if I immediately go right under his head, all right, we're comfortable with usually with getting this elbow back. Most of you guys have been in this position enough to know that he needs to get his right elbow back to my hip, right? So he can start wiggling and scooting to get that elbow back to the ground. Okay, so instead, we're gonna use our new side control that we talked about a couple weeks ago. As I come up underneath, I'm gonna go gather his head to my knee and stack him up, right? Let's turn a little bit. So I've now got his head trapped to his arm. So it's gonna be a little bit harder for him to get that space he needs to get that elbow back down. Okay, so we're going to use the first half of our first escape, because otherwise it'd be too easy. And I'm going to start working on that elbow. I'm going to get my wedge in here, and then he can try and get both arms back at this point. And I'm just relaxed, I'm staying connected. All right, but when I'm ready to go, now I'm going to go get his head and go right to his armpit. Okay, because now I don't care about that arm. As long as I've got his shoulder connected, I'm not too concerned about that inside arm anymore. Right? I want to stay underneath it. I don't want him to let it get all the way underneath me. Okay? But if he gets it back to the ground or gets it into my hip, I can still sit through. I can start working my way back underneath it and get him up on his side. Because ideally, this is where I want to get him. I want both his arms pointed at the sky. All right? So I'm glued to the ground. I open up. Right? A windshield wiper. If you're inflexible like me, I knee over. If you're flexible like Sam or some of you guys, you can step through. Okay? But either way, I'm looking to get my foot into that armpit. Okay, again, I'm leaning, I'm not falling to get that leg free. I don't want to fall all the way out. Now I've disconnected, right? I just want to lean that way until this knee comes free. All right, I can come across. I've got my armpit armbar. I've got my regular armbar. All right, if he's big and jacked like Dante and he can curl my whole body weight, he starts curling it in, that's fine. I'm going to switch my arms, pull that arm to his head, grab my far shin. Hip, over, lock. All right, so I'm in a topside triangle. To finish this, I just sit up. Okay? So we'll go to that one. Then we're gonna come back a little bit to that same position. This time, my bottom leg's gonna go over his shoulder. All right? Finally, I go over that shoulder and he turns into me. 3 different triangles. Okay? You got your arm bar, and then those other 2 arm bars, 3 triangles. Okay? Whenever I'm going for a triangle, I'm always grabbing the shin before I move. Okay? So that I have that connection around the head. Questions?
I see those on someone else.
Yeah, James. I did it perfect, trust me. Okay? If I start to sit to my butt here before I get that leg through, okay, that can be helpful, but I risk scrambling. Right? That's why I'm saying I like to go knee over first, get that leg free, then I can start sitting, staying connected. Right? Same position, I lost that first armbar, that's okay. He's gonna pretend that I didn't, and he's gonna let me have it. Right? I got 1. I got 2. All right. Grab the shin, fall towards it. 3. Over the shoulder. 4. Over the shoulder. Right, he turns into me, tries to come up on top. Let it rotate. I control the arm. Head. Better. Yes? We're finishing with a straight on triangle at the end. We're not going for the angle. If you want to, you can, but you have to unlock, step on the hip, go under the leg. So it kind of depends on the situation. But you should be deep enough right there when you lock it up. Hips up, head down. All right, walk back on your shoulders a little bit if you need to. 1, 2, 3.